Yeah, I'm going to try a recipe that I've never tried before. And it's an old recipe, really old one. It's basically, it comes from like the Depression era days. It's potato candy. I don't know if any of y'all have ever tried potato candy before, but that's what we're going to be fixing. First of all, if y'all want to write the recipe down, I'll give it to you. You need 2 to 3 medium-sized potatoes, white potatoes. You need them cooked and cool, at least enough that you can handle them. You want them peeled and you want them cooked and cool enough to handle them. You need 1.5 to 2 pounds of confectionery sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 2 tablespoons of butter, and peanut butter. Now, I don't know, you need anywhere from 1.5 to 2 pounds of confectionery sugar, depending on the size of your potatoes. Because it doesn't say, well, it says medium size. So I'm thinking that's what I've got here. And you just need to mash your potatoes up after they're cooked. This is probably 2 large potatoes or maybe 3 small ones. I don't know. I don't know what they consider medium, so. Okay, now at this point we're going to add, a teaspoon of vanilla. I have to look close to make sure I've got the right spoon. You add your vanilla, your butter, your potatoes, and just mix it up. I hear something, y'all. Oh my goodness, it's Lucky, y'all. Lucky's out here. Sorry about that. I had to give him a handful of food because he's starving. I know, thank God. I started talking about him, just about almost giving up on him, and he shows up at the door meowing because he's hungry. That's the reason I said I wasn't giving up yet. I had not even posted his picture yet because I said I'm going to give him time because I know how animals are. Now, you got your potatoes, your vanilla, and your butter in there. And what you do is you add the sugar a little bit at a time. Because you know how confectionery sugar is. It hits the least little bit of liquid, and it just it dissolves. Just like mine just did. It just completely dissolved. It hit that little bit of moisture of the potato, And that butter and that vanilla. That's why they say use so much confectionery sugar. Telling a story about Lucky. That's almost like talking about the devil. They say, speak of the devil and he shall appear. Oh my goodness. It's going to take more sugar than this. I should not have put all those potatoes in there. Because I don't think I've got any more confectionery sugar. And it's turning into soup. I got a piece of peeling in there. And this is a 2-pound bag, I think. Yeah, this is a 2-pound bag of confectionery sugar. Some of my sugar is clumped up. I've never seen confectionery sugar do that before. Getting clumps. It said the dough should be quite stiff, and the sugar amount may vary according to the size of the potatoes. And this has got to be formed into a dough ball. So let's see what I can do. I guess the potatoes they want you to use are like the baking potatoes, the ones that get really dry when you cook them. You know how dry those baking potatoes get? That's one reason I don't like to get baking potatoes to eat, because they're dry to me and I don't like them. I like the big white potato, you know, the regular white potatoes, or I like the what they call a butter potato. It's actually like a golden potato or yellow potato that gets a pretty good size, and they're so good when you bake them because they're not dry. So that might be a lesson to you. Get you the baking potatoes that are real dry when you bake them. I'm adding some of this sugar that I've got back here. But have two 2-pound bags. 4 pounds of this sugar available. It's getting a little bit stiffer. Let me put some more of this in here. I wanted to use up this because I already had it open. But with my potatoes, it's taking every bit of 4 pounds of this sugar. Because it has to get stiff enough to roll it out. And it's going to take at least 4 pounds. If those potatoes are as moist as mine, and you put in a whole tablespoon, or not tablespoon, but a teaspoon of vanilla. It's starting to get there, y'all. Plus, it's getting cold, I guess. Just the hot potatoes. Oh my goodness. If they're warm, that's going to cause your sugar to melt. It's got to get real stiff, so I'm going to put some more of this sugar in there. Yeah, it's going to take every bit of 4 pounds of this confectionery sugar to as many potatoes as I had in there. I thought I had a little bit less potato than what they called for, because I figured their potatoes were bigger than mine. But it's got to end up being kind of a dry dough. Goodness gracious. I mean, it's getting there. Now I'm going to treat it like flour dough. This is something I was going to do before Christmas, and I didn't get around to doing it. Now we're going to take some wax paper. Well, we're sprinkle some confectionery sugar on here. That's a gob of potato right there. Now we got to make a oblong dough out of it. And yep, that's confectionery sugar I'm putting on top of it. And underneath it on the wax paper. But you make an oblong crust, basically. See, it's got to the point now where it's not liquefying. The sugar is bad. And I'm going to make it as wide as the wax paper is. And it's important that you put it on wax paper because you don't want it to stick. And a lot of times it will stick to the table or it will stick to anything else that you put it on if it's not on wax paper. I'm putting more confectionery sugar on it, y'all. Because this is potato candy. And you know, candy is basically sugar. I'm trying to get it even so I don't have one side thicker than the other. And you just want to make a rectangle. Just like you'd be making a cake roll or something. Part of it's a little bit thick yet. I'm glad I had this extra confectionery sugar available. Because then when it said 1.5 to 2 pounds, I figured that one bag would be enough, but it wasn't. Not as moist as my potatoes were. So you might keep that in mind if you try this. Get the good baking potatoes that come out kind of dry, and then just squish them up. Well, little buddy's got his buddy back. He's got Lucky back. I know that's not quite even because part of it has got a little bit more thickness to it. Now, since I've already got my sugar on there, let me clean my hands off. My hands are all sticky with sugar. You don't need this. Don't need this. Now I've got a mess. Just don't want all this sugar to get everywhere. Now's where the peanut butter comes in. I'm just running water in that. Let me see what's going to be best to use. I was wondering if the spatula would be good or a knife. Because what we got to do is put peanut butter on this. This peanut butter is not as easy to spread out as you think. It reminds me of making pinwheels. I've made them for parties before, where you use cream cheese and other fillers that you mix in with your cream cheese and make a filling to put on your little tortillas. And they say to put that sugar on the top, which it's already on the top, but it just makes it even harder to spread peanut butter across confectionery sugar. And it only has to be about 1/4 of an inch thick. Which if you put a thin coat on there, you basically got 1/4 of an inch. And I guess with spreading the peanut butter on here, it mixes in with the sugar. And it makes the peanut butter even sweeter. I got to get something to get this out of here with. Oh, let's see. My little bowl scoop, my jar scooper. Could probably just use that to spread it with as well, instead of the spoon. Are we having fun yet? Who are you talking to, Edith? You said, dear, where did you get your blouse? I don't know if you're talking to me or someone else in chat. And it takes almost a whole jar because there was very little peanut butter used out of this jar. To go on this much potato. I don't see where she's... Yeah, I'm not being able to see much of the chat trying to do this. So I don't know who you're talking to. I'm assuming you're talking to me. You can't see anybody else. This is one of my blouses that I ordered from Temu. I didn't go on there to order clothes or anything like that. But I saw these Southwestern style blouses on there one day when I was looking at, I think it was shade cloth for the garden. And I ordered it, and I just love it. It was only like $4 or $5 for it. And a Southwestern style blouse like this in a regular shop would have cost probably $40, $50, $60. That's why I ordered it. I'm trying to make my peanut butter spread, y'all. So I have enough to cover this whole thing. Yeah, of course you're talking to me. You can't see anybody else. I had ruined most of my blouses working in the garden. And this is why the wax paper is so important. See, as long as it's been on here already, it's already sticking to the paper. But it helps you roll it too. roll it up to have it on this wax paper. Guess y'all can see it. And I had the confectionery sugar on there too. I'd rather it not be quite as fat, but hey, that's the way it ended up. Don't know if you can see my plate. I guess you can. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slice it off. Or try to. You put the cut one, you know, and you can freeze these. It's supposed to be a little stiffer than this, but oh well. You get the idea. And it would probably work better if I put it in the refrigerator and let it get really cold. Now my paper's sticking to it. But you just cut it like little almost like a cinnamon roll. Hoping you can see that. Yeah, they cut a lot easier if they were cold. But you can cut them like this and then put them in the freezer and freeze them. And keep them, I mean, you know, till you get ready to eat them. Because the hotter they get, the wetter they get. You know how confectionery sugar is. I'm trying to make room on this plate. And I need to get me another plate or something else to put them on. Oh, goodness gracious me. I think I'm going to put a piece of wax paper in this one. I probably should have put wax paper in the other one. But you probably, I should have made smaller rolls probably, so they would have been littler pieces of candy, but this is the way they say do it. Just put it in, put it in an oblong pastry form, just like you would a cake. Now that's all confectionery sugar that you see, the white stuff. I'm trying to keep it in a round form the best I can. I'm running out of room, y'all, again. I was hoping I could get them both, all of it on 2 plates. There, I tried to make them in a little round shape, almost like a cinnamon roll. I've got sugar all over my cup. It's going to be sticky. I'm just putting a little bit of that confectionery sugar on top. I'm going to save some of it for later to put on there when I get them cooled off. Because the more you handle them with that confectionery sugar in there, the more liquidy it gets. I have got sugar everywhere, y'all. But there you go. There's one plate of them. They look like little pinwheels. Like cinnamon, like you're making cinnamon rolls is basically what it looks like. Let me get some of this stuff picked up. I'm going to put the empty peanut butter jar in the sink. But there's the other plate of them. They look good. But I want to get this sugar cleaned up. I can't handle seeing it here like this. Because it makes quite a bit. I mean, I didn't expect it to be that many. I'm definitely going to freeze part of them. Or most of them. But there you go. My cinnamon, not cinnamon rolls. They look like cinnamon rolls, but that's potato candy, y'all. I didn't expect it to come out that big. I got to taste it. I think you taste more of the peanut butter than you do the potato. That's good. Potato candy. If you make it, you might want to make 2 rolls. You know, make 2, divide it up into sections and make smaller rolls. So they're not quite as thick as mine. They don't end up being as big as a cinnamon roll. But that's the first time I've ever made those, and that's something pretty good there. But they do need to be cold. They're too hot right now. They're too warm, that is. They're not hot. But they're room temperature, and when potatoes are room temperature, they get watery or, you know, liquidy. So let me turn this off.